This is the Hammerfisting Podcast.
It's going to be interesting to see not only what Jake Ellenberger does, but what happens with Mike Perry. What's a fight that you'd like to see? Because I want him in there against another killer in one of those fights that are just, well, I like to call Alien versus Predator fights, where you just have two just straight up horror film killers in there just throwing reckless abandon in the kitchen sink at one another.
Here's like, do we give him a top 10 at this point?
Fuck yeah.
Is Jake Ellenberger? What was Ellenberger ranked? I'm trying to find the. I like to look at the rankings before I make my fight picks.
Yeah, the UFC rankings that mean absolutely dick.
Yeah, well, it just jogs my memory with names because I am probably developing a brain tumor. Who the hell knows? I forget everything.
Yeah, you do.
Wow, this is a real murderer's row at 170, huh? He probably shouldn't fight anybody. He should just hang it up after that.
Okay, so
it's too scary.
Let's exit the alternate reality you're living in right now, Matty.
Ooh, how about Mike Perry and Matt Brown?
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Matt doesn't have a fight lined up. He's not even ranked anymore, huh? Oh, there he is, 15.
He's been on a skid, Matt Brown. So
you know what? That actually makes perfect sense. Because this other kid isn't ranked, right? What's his name again?
Mike Perry.
Mike Perry.
Yeah, he ain't ranked.
Yeah, but
fuck yeah, Matt Brown, perfect.
Matt Brown, isn't he coming off of a loss? You're gonna have a guy coming off of a loss.
It depends on. Here's the thing with that. Like, I was gonna actually suggest before, like maybe Cub Swanson fights the loser of the title fight, or the fake title fight. Sometimes, depending on like where a guy stands in the UFC, coming off of a loss is like that jump. You know what I mean? Like that's where you meet. So yeah, why not? It makes sense. Two fucking brawlers, two probably former heroin addicts. Well, one definitely, but.
Yeah, well,
the other one probably has a bit of a shady past himself.
Let me see. I'm looking at the rankings right now. I could see Gunnar Nelson. I think that would be a cool fight.
It's a terrible idea.
Why?
He's not ready for Gunnar Nelson. You out of your mind?
How do you know?
Hell no. How do I know? Because Gunnar has amazing striking and amazing fucking jiu-jitsu.
He doesn't have amazing striking to the point where I would put him in versus Mike Perry and say that Mike Perry doesn't have a chance against him.
Fucking Gunnar Nelson, like, dude, was he beaten?
His striking is improved. This is the thing that pisses me off. When you have guys who are known for their grappling, Gunnar Nelson known for his grappling, known for his jiu-jitsu, that just have improved striking, once their striking gets legitimate enough where we can say it's good, people always go overboard and say, it's incredible striking. That's complete bullshit.
Well, not like incredible, but he moves very well. He's got that, that nice karate fucking... in and out.
You like the way that he moves.
Smooth movement.
Well, do you remember, like, I remember when Ronda Rousey, she was going to knock out Floyd Mayweather. Remember that horse shit?
Which one?
Yeah. When Ronda
was going to knock out Floyd.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What about it?
Well, that goes with what you're saying about how, like, if someone improves a small amount, they go,
oh, yeah.
Oh, they're so great now.
Yeah, that was what all the talk was. Ronda's hands are amazing.
After she knocked out Betch Kahea, even Joe Rogan's like, oh, her striking, her power, bringing up Mike Tyson, which was just complete ridiculousness. All right, how about...
I mean, look, maybe he can beat him. I haven't seen a lot from this kid yet.
How about is Donald Cerrone got a fight coming up?
Yeah, he's fighting Robbie.
Oh, that's right. Fuck.
I lose
track.
Card.
And Masvidal.
He's fighting Damian
Maia.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so everyone's. You thought you were gonna bump him all? Are you trying to get this kid killed?
No, I'm trying to show the world that Mike Perry's hands are just straight.
What's his record?
Production of malevolence.
Is he fucking 10-1? Yeah, 10-1.
Yeah. No, peace.
All right.
It's sometimes you got to throw guys to the wolves, and the thing is, Mike Perry.
Yes, yeah, they did it to fucking Artem, right?
Mike Perry is someone who will take that fight in a second. That's what I love about a guy like him.
But that's because it's it's win-win, or it's like he has everything to gain from that, and it's like one of those things that would never happen.
I mean, this
Matt Brown maybe.
This is the same group of people who were writing the last rites of Robert Whittaker before he fought Jacare. Look at what happened. Sometimes you put
I don't think anyone was writing his last rites. He was
I
doing
think
very well.
A lot of people.
That's why I was so pissed I bet against him, because I was fucking I was Team Whittaker.
No. I think a lot of people looked at Robert Whittaker as just an offering to the crocodile that is Jacare Souza. I'm not.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Brad Tavares? Because I was doing that for a while, and one is
No.
substantially less talented than the other.
Tinkle.
No,
They look exactly the same.
When we were had that card and we were all talking about it, I think all of us were like, he's awesome, but he has no chance against Jacare.
Yeah, no, exactly. I said the same shit.
So Mike Perry, when we look at him fighting a Gunnar Nelson, and again, some of the guys mentioned have fights coming up, so logistically, unless their opponent gets hurt or they make quick work of their opponent and don't suffer any damage and have to get medical suspensions, yeah, the stars could align. But I'm just saying, as far as if those guys didn't have opponents and we're trying to match them up with a Platinum Mike Perry, Gunnar Nelson, I'll throw Carlos Condit in there, Donald Cerrone, Jorge Masvidal. These are all opponents that I would say, yeah, people look at the rankings, look at these athletes, their body of work, and say, yeah, I'll pick him over Mike Perry. But I don't think it's any more of a mismatch than what people thought Robert Whittaker versus Ronaldo Jacare Souza was.
But those are like more dream matchups at this point than anything else. You know what I mean? Like they're just never going to happen. I mean, if we're going to talk about those, sure, but I think Matt Brown is the perfect example of like where he should go. Start at the bottom, work his way up.
Ryan LaFleur, that's a fight that could be interesting.
Maybe, yeah.
He's number 12 on the UFC rankings, on their official rankings. Neil Magny, Dong Hung Kim.
That's a wolf right there, too.
They're all wolves, man. This is the fucking UFC. It's like, that's why they call it the Ultimate Fighting Championship. All these guys want to be the best. All these guys want to be champions. So if you're offered a fight versus a guy that will put you in contention or put you in the rankings where Mike Perry's trying to break in right now, I mean, come on.
Yeah, for sure, he would jump at the chance to do it. No one above fucking 12 is taking that fight. It's ridiculous for anyone to even consider.
I don't think so. We have to agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
But I was very, very pumped from what I saw from Mike Perry, being able to bounce back from his first career loss in the UFC. And it's going to be interesting regardless to see who they match him up against, because he's someone that is a very tough fight for anyone. And if he catches you, you're going to sleep. I mean, the last fight where he lost before beating Jake Ellenberger and sending him to the land of wind and ghosts was a decision to Alan Jouban, who himself looked very good. And I felt that fight wasn't like he got destroyed, Perry. I just thought that Jouban had the better game plan and the better execution that night. If they fight again, I wouldn't pick Jouban over Perry, especially after what we've seen from Perry consistently. I mean, we talked about it on the last show. Sometimes fighters just have an off night.
Yeah.
And it could be a distraction. When we had John Fitch in studio, he talked about it, how little things like your room is next to the elevator or your room is near a club where you can't get the rest. So I would love to see Mike Perry get a ranked opponent next, just to kind of silence any of the doubters who think he's a one-trick pony. His trick happens to be that he just fucking puts his hoof through your face